simplicity is something that is completely underrated in our society. Our society glorifies things that are big and flashy and complex and technological. And it pays almost no mind to things that are simple and things that have existed for thousands of years. Is like there's a feeling. Do you feel this in society? Like, it's like we're beyond that now. You know, we got GPUs and graphics cards that you wouldn't even believe what they can do. Okay, we don't need to talk about things like breathing in and out. Okay, it's like this is just, it's so far beyond. I think it feels primitive to people. Say we are advanced now, but really this is where the deviation has come. This is why people are so unwell, because we have abandoned the very core things, the core foundational things of how you actually live in a healthy and peaceful way. The body needs these messages coming to it that things are actually okay, you know, so that it can shut down the attack units, activate the healing and resting and repairing processes that help to maintain the system. That's just as best I can tell. It's just the reality of how a human body flourishes. It's like we can handle an acute stress, right? We can do difficult things. We overcome infections. We fight off nasty animals trying to attack us, so we fight it. Okay, you need the stress hormones because that message then, fight or flight, is just priming everything, getting the muscles primed, the mind, the heart rate, the blood flow, the blood pressure, just amp everything up because you got to make an all-out effort to live. You know, you think about, you know, the difficult reality of the struggle of human beings, but that sort of state, that isn't meant to last forever. And like so many things in our society, just primed, it's like we're in this never-ending emergency. And do you just see how that can be so damaging to the body? We utilize that state, say, hey, get through something, work through something, and then come to a place of peace. But coming to a place of peace is like really good. Like that's the goal of it. Whether it's surviving the jaguar attack or it's dealing with a conflict, okay? But then settle it and move on. Like our society, when we don't want to confront anyone, we never want to offend anyone, if we don't want to have some difficult experience, then we just keep it bottled up, right? And then we have the chronic stress. The trauma is there. It's never fully experienced. It's never released. I think it's fair to say we all have something like that, right? We all have multiple things like that. Pretty hard in this world to not encounter difficulty. And we don't have a system, or at least I never did. It's like, I don't know about you. That just tells you, hey, it's important to do it. Just like who has ever told you that it's important that you breathe? You know, it's like, well, breathing just something that happens. Like we don't give it a second thought. But how are you doing it? And are you being intentional? And we've gone through the box breathing, right? Even one breath. Do you feel this? Even one deep, thoughtful, intentional breath can help you feel a little bit better, you know, even once. See, when I do that, I take one big deep breath here. It's just making me already kind of do this with my shoulders, kind of roll them out. I was like, oh, you start to feel it. See, this is bringing awareness. Now I'm just realizing, I got some tension in the shoulder, tension in the neck. I can feel it, tension in the arms all the way down to the hands. It just makes you want to do something like that. And just start to realize, then we're building the connection, mind and body. We say, oh, you start to see it, you know, we think like, oh, stress, it's all in the mind. Like, no, stress is in the body too. Can you see that? We're mind and body. Stress is in the mind, but stress is also held in the body. And if you can see that stress is in mind and body, I was like, okay, well, body is muscles. So I'm talking about bodies and the muscles. But we're all the same thing. Can you see how stress can be in the immune system too? Can you see how it can be in the pancreas? You know, can you see how it can be in every cell of our body, that the stress is actually in it, just in the same way that it's in the shoulders, right? And so as we breathe, right, that you can actually let the stress out of the body. It's so profound. Like, you know, to me, like the fasting is like breathing. A physical breath, giving space in our emotional space just to breathe in some positivity, breathe out the stress. Here, think of fasting like breathing in our diet, right? It's like we don't just breathe in all the time without ever, breathing out, right? You'd be like choking. It's ridiculous. Okay, just think about it in our diet. Okay, we open up a fasting space. It's like food is coming in is like breathing in, fasting space open like breathing out again. And now we're starting to get in a flow and a cycle. We're not stuck in a constant consumption that is building up energy in the body, and energy is reactive and it is leading to problems, insulin resistance and hormonal dysregulation. Now we're getting the flow. Sometimes the food is coming in as a big deep breath in. You say, that feels good. Nutrition coming into the body, just like we're breathing in love and lights, okay? And then the release, the exhale. Now the energy is flowing back out. That's like the food energy's been processed. We're actually using it to power the body. That energy is flowing back out in the form of the work we do, in the form of the heat that is dissipating. And then we see in that moment, we're running that off the food that we ate. We don't need it in this moment. That's like fasting as the breath. Now you start mixing those together, right? In that fasting space itself is anti-inflammatory. We're burning through the excess that in and of itself. So that's a wellness. You start to feel it. No, I can feel digestive system is shutting down, feeling better. Now bring in some actual breathing into it too. Then, do you see how all this flows together? It's just all of health flows together. Then it's helping you to do some beautiful movement. Now we're doing the actual breathing, helps you to feel in the body. Where is the stress? Helps your body just feel what feels good, See, move the body. And then now we're actually physically releasing tension in the body. Helping ourselves to feel more emotionally grounded in there, because now the body's feeling better. Now that's flowing into the mind. Now it is cycling back around. A mind that is more at peace is less in need of anything external, less in need of any consumption in order to find contentment. Do you see that that's a place of profound strength? Contentment is a very, very strong and powerful space. I don't need anything else. Totally content here. Not taking anything into the body. So just giving the body the total space for health, wellness, and healing. People don't appreciate there is healing potential in the body that we have only begun to appreciate. The fasting space I call healing space in the body. Can be healing space for emotions, can be actual physical healing in the body. I was like, level 1, we can just see, okay? If you think of obesity as a weight problem, as a disease, like, well, here's the most obvious place to see it. That as we open up a fasting space, whether you call that a disease or you call it a resource, which is how I like to think of it, that we say we can open up this space and this problem, however we define it, can dissolve, okay? We're just dissolving the problem in this space, and we flow through it in as comfortable and thoughtful and gentle a way as possible. See, so there's an example. A medical condition that we label a chronic disease. They say we can help to dissolve that. Do you see? Do you think that's fair to say? That is a healing of the body. Same exact process. We can go down the line. Same exact thing happening with type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes happening in the body because of insulin resistance. We open up a fasting space. Like, don't you want a pill? Doesn't society want a pill that is just anti-insulin resistance? Isn't that what we want? You take the pill and the insulin resistance is gone. No such thing, okay? How about a root level process where health can spring forth? I love that. Open up the space. Think of the incredible process of type 2 diabetes in this country. It's something like $500 billion being spent on medications. When we open up space, look what can happen. We start having different way of thinking. We realize, oh, type 2 diabetes, what is it? The cells are insulin resistant. There's energy here that the body does not know what to do with it. What are we supposed to do with it? We've been having this energy flowing for so long. The intake has been coming in with no breath, no fasting space. Body wants fasting space. It's like we need to breathe out every once in a while. All of a sudden, we open up the fasting space. What is the very first thing the body does? In the fasting space, it starts burning up blood sugar. It's right there. It can flow right into the cells that need it. When you are in the fasting space, body's like, it's like the last meal we ate, that is the blood sugar. We can just use that energy. And sometimes, have you experienced this? If you are able to monitor your blood sugar, you're not eating. You're burning through the blood sugar. And sometimes you see the blood sugar numbers going up even. It's like because there's so much energy in there. There's overflowing. The body's like, are you kidding? We can release this energy. Right? And you just start running on it. The fasting space, just start chewing it up. So here's like a second disease. We're saying, does anybody in society say type 2 diabetes can be healed? You have healing potential here. Like how wild, how incredible. And that the process to do it is just nothing. Look in that space. Open up the space. The energy's already there. This is just the physiology of the body. So there's no magic. It's just the way the body works. Body needs energy. Energy is there. Instead of putting more energy in, we use it. And then the insulin resistance naturally resolves. I just say dissolves. Like that's the perfect thing with sugar, right? Sugar dissolve in water. Sugar's dissolved in the blood. How about the whole process dissolved in this open fasting space? So, and we could do this with so many things that we say are diseases. This is why this is a healing space. We can go through digestive disorders, autoimmune diseases, types of autoimmune arthritis, chronic pains. I've seen so much healing, actual healing come from this process. And I just, I'll tell you, to me, it feels good at least to be here in our tiny little space and sharing it. Like, to me, like, shouldn't this be like front page news? like, shouldn't we be talking somewhere, on talk shows and TV shows and be like, hey, do you see how profound this is? We're sitting here in this moment. We have millions and millions and millions of people struggling with disease upon disease, spending billions upon billions of dollars that nobody really has. Think of our society racking up astronomical deficits. It's like a third of our economy is in like healthcare now. And I was like, here we have the practice, just like we were saying, someone comes into a primary care office struggling with anxiety, getting a prescription without being taught how to breathe physiologically to help with it. This is like a metaphor for our entire health system with chronic disease, So it just feels really good for me personally, at least to talk about it,